Adopting a kitten means planting love and agreeing to watch it age, then leave forever. The day you bring a kitten home, you think you're starting something beautiful. What you don't realize yet is that love always grows forward. Time never waits. Because loving a cat means planning a lifetime bond, knowing one day you'll say goodbye. At 3 months old, your kitten believes a world exists only to be discovered. Every sound feels important. Every corner hides a mystery. Every moment feels endless. They move fast, without fear, because time hasn't taught them loss yet. At this age, love feels permanent, naps feel eternal, and tomorrow feels guaranteed. They don't know they're growing. They only know today feels safe and warm. This is when you fall in love, without realizing what you're agreeing to. Because this tiny moment will quietly begin a journey you can never stop. At 6 months old, your cat is growing fast, but still believes everything is play. Their energy feels endless, as if rest is optional and curiosity never sleeps. They test limits daily, jumping higher, pushing boundaries, learning what freedom feels like. At this age, affection comes on their terms, not yours, not yet stable. You laugh at the chaos, not knowing this phase will quietly pass. This is when independence begins. Small distance forming inside your shared space. Because growth never asks permission. It simply keeps moving forward without waiting. At 1 year old, your cat feels unstoppable, like energy has no ending. They run, jump, explore nonstop, testing the world with confidence, not caution. This is peak youth, strength, speed, curiosity, all colliding at once. They love you deeply, but only between adventures, naps, and sudden disappearances. Exhaustion becomes normal, for you, not for them ever. At this age, it feels impossible to imagine them ever slowing down. But time is already moving, quietly shaping a future you cannot pause. At 2 years old, your cat feels grown, confident, and fully aware of its space. They choose when to come close, and when distance suddenly feels more comfortable. Affection becomes selective. Attention is earned, not automatically given anymore. They still play sometimes, but independence now quietly leads every decision. This is adulthood beginning. Calm replaces chaos without asking permission. You notice fewer surprises, fewer interruptions, more quiet shared moments. Because growing up means drifting slightly apart, even while living together. If you love cats and understand this journey, support this channel so more stories can be told. At 5 years old, your cat feels settled, calm, and no longer in a hurry. The wild energy fades, replaced by routine's comfort and quiet confidence. They still play sometimes, but only when it feels truly worth it. At this age, presence matters more than constant movement or noise. You notice fewer messes, fewer surprises, and more peaceful days. This feels like stability, a phase you secretly hope will last forever. But time never pauses, even when everything finally feels just right. At 8 years old, your cat begins moving slower without ever explaining why. Jumps become shorter, pauses grow longer between moments of movement. They still feel familiar, yet something quietly feels different now. At this age, comfort matters more than curiosity or exploration. You notice subtle signs. Stiff steps, slower turns, longer rests. Time becomes visible here. Not loud, not dramatic, just undeniable. This is when you realize the journey is no longer endless. At 8 years old, your cat begins moving slower without ever explaining why. Jumps become shorter, pauses grow longer between moments of movement. They still feel familiar, yet something quietly feels different now. At this age, comfort matters more than curiosity or exploration. You notice subtle signs. Stiff steps slower, turns longer rests. Time becomes visible here. Not loud, not dramatic, just undeniable. This is when you realize the journey is no longer endless. At 15 years old, your cat has entered a stage where aging is undeniable. Their joints ache quietly. Movement now requires thought, not instinct anymore. Vision softens slowly. Familiar spaces feel less clear than before. They hesitate more often now, as if the world demands extra caution. At this age, they depend on your care more than ever before. This is when love becomes responsibility, not just companionship or joy. At 18 years old, your cat has reached the quiet edge of a long life. Their steps are slower now. Every movement feels careful and deliberate. Familiar places feel confusing sometimes. Memory no longer arrives on command. Vision fades gently. The world softens into shapes and light. They rest more than they move now, conserving what little strength remains. At this stage, your presence matters more than play or routine. You begin to understand. Time is no longer generous here. This is a final lesson of love, staying gentle until the very end. Every cat changes with time, but love should never depend on age. Playful or quiet, they're still the same soul you chose once. Youth brings chaos. Age brings silence. Both deserve patience. They never stop loving you, even when their bodies slow down. That moments change shapes, but connection stays real if you let it. That every stage has beauty, if you learn to see instead of rush. That a cat's life is short, but love can fill every part of it. That so love them fully, at every age until the very end. If this story touched you, support the channel so more cats are loved this way.